Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel just revealed they're introducing the Sentry in the MCU through the Thunderbolts movie, so I'll explain what's going on and how the origin of the MCU Sentry is connected to what Thunderbolt Ross is doing, the Weapons Plus program, the Super Soldier Serum, and the Thunderbolts team itself. Because most of them are super soldiers, like there's a lot of super soldier stuff going on in the Thunderbolts movie. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. I'll do more Sentry videos, more Thunderbolts videos as we get more details and footage from the movie. But it's basically like the MCU introducing its version of Homelander. Someone who's totally crazy and nigh invulnerable with crazy levels of power. Big thank you to today's sponsor, Vessi Shoes, keeping my feet nice and comfortable. That's why they're my go-to at the gym, doing errands, going to the beach, when I'm pretending like I went on vacation, but secretly I'm still running around doing work. Seriously, I haven't been on a vacation in like 6 years. They're built for everyday life and perfect in all weather. They keep your feet warm and dry when it's cold and raining. They're waterproof, snowproof, since we're heading into winter season. They're incredibly comfortable, breathable, they fit like a sock, they have sizes and styles for the entire family, and their grip is designed for all weather, so you can wear them whether you're out hiking in the woods, just doing errands, and they look great, so make them your go-to shoes. They're currently having a Black Friday sale, and they're giving away a pair of free socks of your choice for the first 100 people to purchase a pair of shoes. You can use my code EMERGENCYAWESOME or the link they gave me, vessi.com/emergencyawesome. I'll put the link on screen here and down in the description below, so be sure to go check them out. The reason why we're talking about the Sentry is because you probably saw in your feeds this week that Marvel revealed they're casting an evil Superman character from the comics to be one of the villains of the Thunderbolts movie, if not the main villain. They're kind of doing that thing where they say that somebody is the main villain, but secretly somebody else is actually the villain. Like Thunderbolt Ross is really like the big antagonist of the MCU during Marvel Phase 5. Val is another good example, kind of an anti-hero, but also kind of one of the big antagonists of Marvel Phase 5. We got a couple teasers for what's going on with that during Black Panther Wakanda Forever with the Val, the Thunderbolt Ross Vibranium plot. We also learned that they just recast Harrison Ford in the MCU as Thunderbolt Ross and will turn him into Red Hulk during Captain America 4, which comes out right before the Thunderbolts movie. So all this stuff for the Thunderbolts, the Sentry, is meant to be connected. When you hear evil Superman in the MCU, there are a couple of main characters that come to mind, mostly Sentry and Hyperion. They're two completely different characters, completely different backstories. Hyperion isn't Eternal like the ones we just saw in the Eternals movie with the same backstory as Superman from DC, like he was fired from his dying planet to planet Earth and uses crazy Eternals powers to become a more hardcore anti-Superman kind of character within the ranks of Marvel's heroes and villains in Squadron Supreme. Like that's his big team, his version of an anti-Justice League. Kind of like Marvel's version of the Boys 7 team. Sentry is also like Marvel's version of Superman with the twist that he's totally schizophrenic. He's a schizotypal personality disorder, not the same thing that Moon Knight suffers from, but similar. Both of them have alternate personalities, like Moon Knight has Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, we just met Jake Lockley at the end of that series, but he has something called dissociative identity disorder, which is different from what Sentry has. Sentry's real name is Robert Reynolds. He started out as a drug addict who was just down on his luck and broke into a lab where he thought he could find a score. He took what he thought was going to be drugs that were going to get him high, but it wound up giving him powers. It wound up being the Golden Sentry Serum, which was a derivative of the Super Soldier Serum, part of the Weapons Plus program. It gave him the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Like that version of the Super Soldier Serum was way more potent than the version that the other super soldiers on the Thunderbolts team got, or even Captain America got. But the process of getting all that power when he was already kind of broken mentally caused him to develop an alternate personality called the Void, who's a totally evil version of himself with an equal level of power, but different types of powers.
I'll get us through this, just as long as you and me stick together. One love and a mommy and a daddy and a boo-hoo-hoo.
So a lot of his backstory is similar to the backstory for Homelander and the other Boys superhero characters getting their powers from Compound V. Soldier Boy is a good example, like he's the first version of the Compound V superheroes that they created. Eventually they refined the formula like they did for the Sentry, and Homelander winds up getting a much more potent version of it, becoming nigh invulnerable, the most powerful person on planet Earth. But the whole pitch is that he's mentally very broken character. He's not mentally stable. So the whole idea is, what if Superman, but he's totally crazy, which is where you get to the Sentry in the MCU.
You think you look strong? You're just a cheap knockoff.
Oh, no. I'm the upgrade.
The reason why I say the mystery evil Superman that Marvel's introducing is Sentry and not Hyperion is because of what Kevin Feige said at D23 at the Thunderbolts presentation. They revealed what's going on with Val, Thunderbolt Ross, and their whole plot to recreate super soldiers in the Weapons Plus program. This pays off a long-running Easter egg that I'll explain in a second from the first Incredible Hulk movie. And at D23, Kevin Feige very specifically remarked that Winter Soldier was going to be the most mentally stable person on the Thunderbolts. David Harbour, who plays Red Guardian, said that it's all about this group of fundamentally broken people, mentally broken that is, who all have crazy levels of powers, who find a way to work together and help heal each other slowly. Like help each other actually accomplish their mission, but also fix a lot of their mental problems they've been suffering from. And a lot of them just happen to be super soldiers, kind of like Sentry is. Technically, he's a super soldier, even though it's a slightly different version of the formula. Through Captain America 4 and the Thunderbolts movie, they're paying off this long-running Easter egg from the Incredible Hulk movie with the Weapons Plus program, which is meant to be Thunderbolt Ross's renamed version of the Super Soldier program.
You're aware that we've got an infantry weapons development program. Well, in WW2, they initiated a sub-program for biotech force enhancement.
Yeah, super soldier.
And I dusted it off. Got him doing serious work again, bold work.
So, for example, Wolverine comes from the Weapon X program, but X is a Roman numeral that stands for 10. He's the 10th version of the Weapons Plus program of them trying to recreate a super soldier using different means. All the members of the team here come from some iteration of the Weapons Plus program or some offshoot in the case of the Winter Soldier with Hydra's Winter Soldier program. Even though the Abomination wasn't with them on stage here, I think he'll also be involved in the plot in some way. He also got a version of that super soldier serum. Thunderbolt Ross's whole thing with continuing the Weapons Plus program during the Incredible Hulk movie and then into present day that he'll use to create more super soldiers, better weapons that he wants to use to defend the United States from other future threats like Thanos. The program that Bruce Banner was working on when he had his Gamma accident giving him his Hulk powers was secretly part of the Weapons Plus program. Thunderbolt Ross just tricked him into working on it, thinking that the program was meant for something else. And because he got his powers in the US military's lab, like all the equipment that he was using when he became the Hulk belonged to the US military, Thunderbolt Ross thinks of the Hulk as the property of the US government and intends on taking that power for himself to become Red Hulk. I've already done a much larger Red Hulk video explaining the actual process of how he became Red Hulk in the comics and how they're changing that for the movies, so I'll link that at the end of this and down in the description below. The reason why this is connected to the origin of the Sentry in the MCU is because Sentry also got his powers from a derivative of the Super Soldier Serum Weapons Plus program. In the comics, Sentry came from the same place Deadpool came from, called Department K, which was an offshoot of the Weapon X program, the Wolverine program, which itself was a further version of the Weapons Plus program. So the Sentry's origin is meant to be very similar to Homelander's origin. A lot of the other boys' characters, like Soldier Boy, started out as a dirtbag or were broken people mentally and just got god-tier powers. He's meant to be one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe during World War Hulk, for example. There's a bit of World War Hulk plot that they're using for Captain America 4 and the Thunderbolts movie, it seems like. He was able to fight World Breaker Hulk to a standstill, with the fight just going on until they eventually wore each other out because neither one could kill each other. But even though they say he has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, his actual powers go way beyond Superman types of powers. He has molecule manipulation, super speed, flight, immortality, he can heal people, extreme regeneration, faster than Deadpool and Wolverine's regeneration, nigh invulnerability, telepathy, he can create force fields, shape-shifting, energy manipulation, weather manipulation. In the comics, the way they introduce his character is in a Rashomon kind of story where he just wakes up confused in present day, this kind of overweight middle-aged man, not really understanding what's going on, but slowly remembering who he is. He's Sentry, he has all these god-tier powers. Eventually he learns that in order to protect the world from his evil persona, the Void, he caused the entire world to forget about the Sentry, including himself. It was a way for Marvel to explain how he was created back during the 1950s, 1960s, and had been alive this entire time while you're having all these adventures with the Avengers, all these big crossovers, but you're only learning about the Sentry in the early 2000s when they first introduced the character. Nobody knew about him because they pulled a Spider-Man No Way Home. It was just like the movie, just caused everybody on the planet to forget about the Sentry. At least until he remembered everything, which caused the evil persona within his mind to resurface, the Void, bringing that threat back as well. So the whole idea is he's so unpredictable, so crazy, that it's even harder to deal with him as a character and get him to do what you want than it is to deal with a version of the full Hulk like the mindless Hulk. So the idea during the Thunderbolts movie is that you have this mentally unstable team of anti-heroes trying to take down or talk down the Sentry. an insurmountable, nigh invulnerable, and totally crazy force. So part of the whole joke here, part of the pitch, is that they have zero chance against him, like there's no way that they'd be able to stop him, he's that powerful. And faced with that, how do they wind up taking him down or talking him down, talking him back to his senses? And a lot of this is about getting over past trauma and dealing with your mental problems. They kind of address that during Falcon and Winter Soldier, with Winter Soldier's character being in therapy and slowly working through his problems. So right now, my early theory is they have to face the Sentry. There's no way they can beat him, and they won't beat him. They'll find a way to talk him back to his senses. The actors that they're supposedly looking at for the role right now are Ryan Gosling and Alexander Skarsgård. Either one would be great. I'm sure whoever they find will be a lot of fun. But if they're introducing Sentry, let me know what else you want them to do with the character in the future. Obviously, we're just talking about the end of Marvel Phase 5. Marvel Phase 6 is Avengers 5, Kang Dynasty, Avengers 6, Secret Wars, so there's still like a whole other phase after they would introduce the character. I'm still working on my Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special review. That'll be my next video to post. Make sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Everyone click here to learn about the secret Deadpool Christmas movie that Ryan Reynolds made, and click here to learn what's going on with Thor 5. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.